Someone is studying you right now, not your enemies, the people closest to you. They know exactly which words make you apologize when you've done nothing wrong. They know which silence makes you chase them. They know how to make you feel guilty for having boundaries. And the most dangerous part? You call them friends. You call them family. You call them love. Niccolo Machiavelli understood something most people spend their whole lives refusing to accept, that the world is not run by the honest. It is run by the observant. While you were taught to trust, to forgive, to give people the benefit of the doubt, someone else was taught to read you like a book and turn every page to their advantage. This is not a story about villains in history. This is a story about the people sitting across from you at dinner. Machiavelli didn't write about manipulation because he loved cruelty. He wrote about it because he watched good, decent, well-meaning people get destroyed, not by armies but by charm, by flattery, by fake loyalty. He watched kind rulers lose everything because they refused to believe that kindness could be used as a weapon against them. And he made a decision that most people are too afraid to make. He decided to see people as they actually are, not as he wished they were. That decision is the beginning of power. And most people never make it. Here is the brutal truth nobody tells you. Being easy to manipulate has nothing to do with intelligence. Some of the smartest people you know get played constantly. Why? Because manipulation doesn't attack your mind. It attacks your emotions. It finds the wound you don't talk about and presses on it gently again and again until you're doing exactly what someone else wants and thanking them for it. Think about the last time you gave in to someone you shouldn't have. Think about the last time you said yes when your entire body was screaming no. That wasn't weakness. That was a trigger being pulled by someone who studied you long enough to know which one to use. Manipulators don't attack strength. They're not that brave. They attack the parts of you that were never protected. Your need to be liked, your fear of conflict, your desire to be seen as good. And here is the part that will sting. The kinder and more emotionally open you are the easier you are to control, not because kindness is weakness, but because it's predictable. And anything predictable can be used against you. This is the part Machiavelli understood better than almost anyone in history. He said that people, in general, are not to be trusted with your comfort, because most people will act in their own interest first, no matter how much affection they perform. That doesn't mean everyone is evil. It means everyone has a limit to their loyalty, and the people who never show you that limit are usually the ones closest to it. So how do they actually do it? It's not loud, it's not obvious, it's small. It's the friend who only checks on you when they need something. It's the partner who apologizes with actions but repeats the same behavior with words. It's the family member who brings up your past mistakes exactly when you start to feel confident. It's the boss who praises you publicly and undermines you privately. None of these people introduce themselves as manipulators. They introduce themselves as the people who understand you best. That's the disguise. That's always the disguise. And here's a truth that will make you uncomfortable. The reason you didn't see it coming isn't because you're naive. It's because you wanted to believe them. Manipulation doesn't work on people who are watching. It works on people who are hoping. Machiavelli's core lesson wasn't cruelty for the sake of cruelty. It was clarity. He believed that a person who understands human nature, the selfishness, the fear, the hunger for power hidden behind every polite smile, becomes almost impossible to control. Not because they stop caring, but because they stop being blind. There is a difference between being a good person and being an easy target. Most people confuse the two. They think staying soft, staying silent, staying agreeable is what makes them good. But goodness without awareness isn't virtue. It's vulnerability, wearing a nice outfit. Ask yourself something honestly. How many times have you stayed quiet? Not because you had nothing to say, but because you were afraid of how someone would react. How many times have you excused behavior that hurt you because the person didn't mean it? How many times have you handed someone power over your emotions simply because they knew how to sound sincere? That is not love. That is leverage. Here's where it gets darker. The most skilled manipulators don't even see themselves as manipulators. They believe their own performance. They convince themselves that guilt-tripping is just being honest, that controlling you is just caring, that punishing your independence with silence is just needing space. This is why you can't out-argue them. You're not dealing with logic. You're dealing with a story they've told themselves so many times, it became identity. So what do? You stop reacting from emotion, and you start observing from distance. Not coldness. Distance. Machiavelli's power wasn't born from hatred of people. It was born from refusing to be naive about them. He watched. He waited. He studied patterns before he trusted intentions. And that is the first shift you must make. Stop listening to what people say about themselves and start watching what they consistently do when nothing is at stake for them. Manipulators reveal themselves in small moments. How they treat someone who can't benefit them. How they respond when you say no. How they behave the one time you didn't apologize first. These moments are data. Most people ignore the data because the performance in between is convincing. Don't ignore it again. Second, reclaim your reactions. This is the deepest cut of all. Manipulation cannot survive without your emotional participation. The guilt, the fear, the urgency to fix things, the need to be seen as good. These are the strings they pull. The moment you stop reacting instantly, the moment you create space between what they say and how you respond, their entire strategy collapses. Silence is not weakness. Silence, used correctly, is the most powerful answer you can give someone who expects your immediate emotional surrender. Third, accept a truth that will set you free, even though it hurts. Not everyone who claims to love you is safe for you. Some people will only ever love the version of you that serves them. The moment you grow, the moment you set a boundary, the moment you stop being convenient, you will see their true face. This isn't cynicism. This is the exact clarity Machiavelli spent his life trying to teach the naive rulers of his time, right before they lost their kingdoms to people they trusted. Here's the twist most people never expect. Becoming harder to manipulate doesn't make you cold. It makes you calm. Because manipulation thrives on chaos, your confusion, your self-doubt. The moment you stop supplying that chaos, you stop being useful to people who feed on it. They will call you distant. They will call you different. What they mean is, you stopped being controllable, and that terrifies them more than any argument ever could. This is the brutal, unspoken truth about power. It was never about dominating others. It was about refusing to be dominated by people wearing the mask of love, friendship, or loyalty. Machiavelli wasn't teaching cruelty. He was teaching survival in a world that rewards performance over honesty. So, the next time someone makes you feel guilty for protecting your peace, pause. The next time someone twists your kindness into an obligation, pause. The next time silence feels like punishment instead of freedom, pause. Because in that pause is the only place real power has ever existed. You don't need to become ruthless. You need to stop being unaware. The moment you see people clearly, not who they claim to be, but who they consistently show you, you take back something they've been quietly stealing from you for years, your control. And once you take that back, no one will ever again mistake your kindness for weakness.